Good morning. It is, what is day? Wednesday, December 9th. Today, our illy coffee. And luckily, our warm cup of illy coffee is wrapped up in a Dallas cup. Now, yesterday we got to sit down a little bit and we talked about the certifications that CompTIA puts together. And they're a good set of certifications to get you started in the field. But how do you become more professional, right? How do you become more professional in the field? How do you show that you're advanced beyond the basic step that CompTIA generally we look at CompTIA as providing these basic level, entry level certifications. And obviously with the CASP and things like that, we see them moving more towards the right side of experience, moving more towards experienced practitioners. But we do generally look at CompTIA certifications as entry level. So what do we look at as more advanced level certifications? What are some of these certifications that are more advanced? One of the organizations we're going to talk about is ISACA. And ISACA offers 6 certifications, and these certifications prove your experience in a specific domain. So these are more advanced certifications. And I know we talked a little bit yesterday about some of the costs associated with even the CompTIA exams. And they can be pretty pricey, right? But let's look at ISACA's certification requirements in today's video. And we got some folks coming in. Rainier's here this morning. Good morning, Rainier. Good to see you. Paul Downs. Oh, welcome from the UK, sir. Good afternoon. It's 7:30 a.m. here on the East Coast, and obviously earlier as you go across the country. And you guys are having your afternoon. Good to see you. Yeah, we are doing well, sir. I didn't realize you were in the UK when we were talking yesterday. So today we're talking a little bit more about certifications. What are certifications? And this is prepping us for our talk next week when we start talking about career paths for people to travel down. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. I hope you have your cup of coffee, or maybe Paul, I don't know if you have a pint already. I don't know. And you're 7 hours ahead. I guess I would only make it about 2:30 in the afternoon. If my 7 or 6 hours, the daylight savings messes me up. I think you guys are 7 hours ahead, 6 hours. I don't know. We'll have to figure that. We'll have to figure out where Paul's at. UK. How many hours ahead is Paul over there in the UK? So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're talking about ISACA. So let's get on with it. Give me 1 second though. It's pastry day. I just asked the Echo device across the room what the holiday was today. It is pastry day. So I guess get your pasty, get your Pop-Tart, get your turnover, get whatever you want. 5 hours ahead of the East Coast. Okay, 5. Guess I'm used to being in. You had to do conversion to Zulu back in the day, and I guess I was always in the mountains zone or even Pacific, trying to figure it out. 5 hours ahead of the East Coast, 12:30 noon. I guess maybe might not be time for a pint yet. And Eric's here. Good morning, Eric. Paul, good to see you, Paul. I'm glad to see some folks a little further away. We got a lot of folks close to Virginia here. We get other folks across the country that watch. Good to have you here. So let's roll the intro, and we'll talk about our good friends at ISACA. If I can get my whole system working here, we will jumping over to look at PowerPoint. So today we're going to have an overview of ISACA certifications. And we'll talk about ISACA a little bit. So ISACA is an international professional association focused on information technology governance. That's kind of where they find their niche. They're talking more about governance. Its official name is the Information Systems Audit and Control Association, although they really don't go by that. Now they just go by ISACA as an acronym only. They really don't fall back on that full title. They just go by ISACA. So we talk about ISACA, we'll be talking this folks. If you want to go back to you can see their roots, right? Information Systems Audit and Control. The roots are in audit. That's where their roots are in. And we're going to see that when we start talking about their certifications, right? So that's a little bit of a blurry slide, but these are the 6 certifications we'll be talking about. These are the 6 that ISACA maintains, has created, can issue, all the good stuff. And let's get beyond this ugly slide. So let's talk about the first certification they have. First certification is the CISA, and this shows their roots. This shows the roots of ISACA. It's the Certified Information Systems Auditor. And this certification really does show roots in audit. It generally gets people ready to become auditors for security control auditing. A lot of times you'll see this online or on par with the CISSP. A different set of skills, though. CISSP, remember, it's wide. It covers many domains in security. It depends on when you took it, 8 to 10 different domains in security. You cover them at a level that is what they always say, a mile wide and an inch deep. And we'll talk about that when we talk about ISC squared. But when we talk about CISA, that's on par with the CISP. So the cost for this, if you're a member, you always get a better price with ISACA. And it's $50 to join. So you can do the math. You're going to save $100 on one certification. Books are cheaper. Other things are cheaper. It's always better, at least while you're taking the exams, to be a member of ISACA, right? They're going to want you to be a member. They're going to want you to be a member of a local chapter as well. But as soon as you take one exam, you've actually saved money by becoming a member. So member price $465 for the member price, $595 if you're not a member, right? 150 questions. You got a 4-hour time limit to take the CISA exam. So here's what we talk about: 21% in information systems auditing and that process, 17% in governance and management of IT, 12% in information systems acquisition, development, and implementation, 23% in information systems operation and business resilience, and 27% in protection of information assets. So if you're going to be an auditor, and also if you're looking to go the route of control assessor, the CISA is a good certification to get to prove that you know that stuff. So on to the next. The CRISC, right? So these aren't in order of when they were issued. These are in the order that ISACA wants to present them. So we followed that when we put the slides together. So the CRISC is your certified in risk and information systems control. So as you can guess, this is a good certification for your risk management professionals. So if you're looking at risk management, if you're looking at working in like governance or even in leadership, this is a good certification for you to get. So cost for members, $575, non-members, $760. Again, you can see the benefit of being a member. Again, 150 questions, 4-hour time limit. We talk about 27%, we talk about IT risk identification, 28% is IT risk assessment, 23% risk response and mitigation, and 22% risk control and monitoring and reporting, right? So CRISC. One thing I didn't mention up front, get it out right up front. If you're going to take these, there's also some experience requirements, and you're going to have to fill out some paperwork to prove that you have the experience required. And we'll dive into those deeper when we dive into the individual videos about each actual individual certification. So we'll actually cover a individual video on CRISC, an individual video on CISA, that kind of thing. This, again, like we did yesterday with CompTIA, this is a high-level overview of each and every certification that they offer, right? So CISM, Certified in Information Security Manager. This cost, again, $575 for members, $760 for non-members, 150 questions, a 4-hour time limit, 24% in Information Security Governance, 30% Information Risk Management, 27% in Information Security Program Development and Management, and 19% in Information Security Incident Management. This is a good certification if you want to be in leadership, you want to build security programs. If you want to go into an organization and build a security program for the organization, this is the great certification for you. This is where you want to be. If you want to be an information security manager, running a program, building a program, developing a program, that's what we talk about in this certification. And even if you don't want to take the certification, you can grab a CISM book. A lot of great information is covered in the CISM and the material that preps you for the CISM exam, right? Now we get into some of the newer and a little bit, I guess, maybe unknown. Maybe unknown's a good word for these ones. Well, a lot of people don't know about these certifications. Even CRISC. A lot of people don't know about CRISC, but it's getting more traction, right? So the CGEIT, this is Certified in Governance of Enterprise IT, right? You can see the same kind of pattern over here. Members, $575, non-members, $760 to take the certification exam. 150 question, 4-hour time limit. 40% governance of enterprise IT, 15% IT resources, 26% benefits realization, and 19% risk optimization, right? So this is if you're going into governance, right? If you're going into leadership or governance, this is the one you want. Depending on where you want to go in security, this is the premier certification for governance, the folks in governance, right? Here's a new one. This is new. This came out in 2020. This is the CSX-P, the Cybersecurity Practitioner Certification, right? So this one, we don't have the percentages, right? We talk about this certification follows the MITRE ATT&CK framework and the cybersecurity framework, right? So if we follow the cybersecurity framework, we see we identify, protect, detect, respond, recover, just like the cybersecurity framework down below. Talk about business and security environment, the operational security readiness, threat detection and evaluation, and incident response and recovery. We cover this certification is great for someone who's working with the cybersecurity framework, working in a security operations center. And this is weird. This is not, the exams up to this point have been multiple choice. This is, and they've been 150 questions, 4 hours. So we have 4 hours here. There's 20 events. Really, they're not questions, they're events. And this is a performance-based certification. So you have to be able to deal with the event, and you'll be graded on how you deal with the event. So this is perfect for someone in the SOC, Security Operations Center, or somebody dealing with incident response, right? Identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. That is the cybersecurity framework. This certification directly lines up with the cybersecurity framework. Again, those folks that are doing incident response, working in the SOC, this is the certification you want. And again, we see the normal prices that we're going to expect from ISACA. Now, this one is the newest certification, right? This is the Certified Data Privacy Solutions Engineer. This is so new. There's no questions. There's no time limits, because right now what they're doing is they're allowing people to be grandfathered in. So this happened probably 10 years ago with the CRISC when it came out, is if you have the experience requirements that are required for this certification, they will let you be admitted to the certification based on a resume you provide. proof of your experience that you provide to ISACA. It's essentially being grandfathered into the program. So you'll be among the first people to get the CDPSE, or the Certified Data Privacy Solutions Engineer. It's the privacy certification. If you work in privacy, or if you work in privacy controls, this is one you want. We talk about privacy governance, privacy architecture, data lifecycle, that kind of stuff is what we're talking about here. If you look over on the left there, this one could blow your doors off, right? For members, the price of getting in on the grandfathering is $695, and you have to pay that before you submit your paperwork to see if you can get accepted for grandfathering. Non-members will pay $880 to submit your resume and your packet to be potentially grandfathered in. Obviously, if you don't get grandfathered in, I think they refund that, but we'll cover that more when we dive deeper into the CDPSE in a later video. But this is the newest of the ISACA certifications. This is the Certified Data Privacy Solutions Engineer. It rounds them out with 6 certifications that they provide to people. It's the half dozen. It's the half dozen look of these folks. So that's what we're talking about. That's the certifications that ISACA offers. Definitely not as many as CompTIA, because they're so focused on what they do. Again, they're focused on governance. So you're going to see certifications like CISA and CISM, where we talk about audit or management. CRISC, where we talk about risk. Governance of IT, we talk about governance. The new one, CSX-P, where we talk about security operations and the cybersecurity framework. And then the privacy one, what's the CDPSE? That's a mouthful, but really that's the privacy. If you're a privacy expert, that's the one you want. So we got some conversations going on here. Paul's a bit of a toss-up between the CISA and the CRISC for my next exam. I guess it depends on which way you want to go, right? You're going to definitely look at 2 different bodies of knowledge, and there is overlap between them. More auditing or more risk management. Depends on where you want to go. CRISC, we talk about things like KRIs and KPIs and how we define risk. And audit, we talk about how to go in and assess a system, ensure that it is working correctly, and audit it for its control functionality. Richard, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, folks. So that was a quick rundown. It definitely didn't take as long as yesterday. Do know that for each of these, there's going to be some experience requirement. You're going to have to prove your experience in the domain when you finalize. So you can take the exam without that, but you can't actually be issued the certification until you fill out some paperwork. And ISACA does it a little bit differently. They're going to have you fill out some paperwork to define your experience. Then you're going to provide them with, I think 2 or 3, I can't remember now, it's been a little bit, 2 or 3 references that they can contact to validate your experience. So it's going to take a little bit from when you take the test to when you're actually take and pass the test, I should say, to when you're actually issued the certification. So it takes a little while. Eric's thinking about looking in the CRISC first, or CRISC, looking in the CRISC. The good thing about if you're looking in the risk world, right? We can look at things like, and later we'll talk about ISC squared CAP, the Certified Authorization Professional. That looks at risk from the system level up through the organization. The CRISC rounds out your experience by looking at risk from the leadership level down through the organization. So you get these 2 different views of risk. CAP looking from the system level up, or what we call Tier 3, and then CRISC looks at risk from Tier 1, so something like the risk executive function or risk leadership that advises leaders in the organization. And we look at these 2 different views, and even if we just study and we don't get certification, if we study the CAP, and study the CRISC information, we get this view where we get system up and also leadership down, and we get a good meet in the middle where we can look at a holistic picture of risk. It's a good way to go about it. So that's all I got to say. Pretty short today because ISACA only focuses on these these 6 certifications, and really the two that used to be around for a long time without anything else was the CISA and the CISM. Then they added the CRISC, and then they added the CGEIT. Then this year, 2020, they added the CSX-P. Remember, that one's the one where we tie into the cybersecurity framework. And now they're grandfathering people into the newest certification, the CDPSE. That's that privacy expert. And that'll be I'm assuming when it becomes a test, it'll be 150 questions in 4 hours and cost you about the same. If you think you have the requirements and you're going to want to get that certification, now might be the time to do it, because when you're grandfathered in, you don't take the exam. You just get grandfathered in and they give you the certification. They don't give it to you. They give it to you based on your experience. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about ISACA? Are you card-carrying members of ISACA? Are you joined to a chapter? Are you an ISACA member? Do you carry credentials only and you're not a member of ISACA? That's what a lot of people do. They're a member while they're going through certification. Then they drop their membership once they become fully certified to the level they want, because then, they just pay their dues. After that, pay their recertification dues. That's the other thing you have to remember. ISACA, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about each individual certification, but there's a payment required to renew your certifications, unlike what we have over in CompTIA. So that's what I got to say. If you guys are here and you like what we're talking about, definitely comment. Let me know this is what we want to talk about. I'm excited to get to next week when we start talking about career paths and put some of these certifications and experience on the timeline for folks and determining this is what you should get when. That's going to be fun. If you do like this stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified. It makes it easier for everyone, helps us. Hit that thumbs up, like the channel, like the video if you like it, and share with your friends. That's what I got to say. Joe! Good morning, Joe. Dang it. Haven't seen you for a while. CISM, CRISC, pricey, sounds good, but a bit pricey one sounds good. Yeah, they are pricey, and you know that as well as anyone else. You have been around the field a bit. These certifications are going to cost you. So that's why it's important to pick the right ones. That's what we started talking about yesterday. Pick the right certifications, because not only do you have to maintain those CPEs, or this continuing educational unit, CEUs, some places call them, but you're going to, in some cases, like ISACA and ISC Squared, you're going to have to pay to maintain that certification over time. And they do use different models, but it's going to cost you money. So pick the ones that fit where you're going. And that means you got to know where you're going. You got to know your path. You got to, if you spend a lot of time getting your CRISC and your CISM and maybe your CDPSE, and you spend all that money, and then you realize you want to be a pen tester, the certifications are nice, but they're not going to help you in that job. They're not going to help you get ahead in that field. So it's important to know where you want to go, and go forward. Yeah, Joe. Grandfather in the CRISC. It's funny. I remember, I think it was before I met you, because I would have been at the FBI then. I remember when the CRISC grandfathering came out, and I was like, I've never heard of this thing. I don't know what it is. It was a lot of paperwork to fill out, and I just I'm not going to do this. And then lo and behold, the folks at St. Louis University asked me to teach a class in CRISC, so I had to go sit for and take the exam for CRISC, so I could teach the course. Crazy. If I should have just filled out the paperwork and done it early like you did, Joe. You're a smart guy. That's why, smarter than me, because I ended up taking the certification. So if you think you're going to work in privacy and you think you've got the experience now, be like Joe. Get grandfathered in. It's going to keep you from taking the exam. Privacy, will it be a fad like the Cabbage Patch doll? Who knows? I think with the legal requirements, especially in the European Union. I don't think privacy is going anywhere. I think it's just going to become more and more strict. GDPRC, our privacy laws are probably going to change. As you know, even the Computer Security Act of '87 is going up in front of the Supreme Court. So things are going to change. I think, Alex, I think privacy is going to be around a while. If you're a privacy professional working in privacy, and we see, even with 853 Revision 5, we see privacy and security being sewn together now. There still is the option to have separate privacy assessors and security assessors, but I think you're going to see more and more of a combination of an assessor that looks at both privacy and security at the same time. And the same thing on the implementation side. I think you're going to see implementers that implement both privacy controls and security controls, because really there's not a vast difference between the two of them. If you think about it, not a lot of difference. One's providing privacy, one's providing security. Kind of the same thing. So that's where we're at. We're on. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. We're halfway through the week. Hopefully you're getting where you need to go, getting things done. Let's go out there and as is Mike Bravo and Mike and Sierra Bravo say, let's go get some. I'm going to say take care of your friends, your family, your coworkers. Take care of each other. Go be good today. Go do some good out in the world you live in. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll talk about another certification provider and the certificates or the certifications that they offer and they maintain. So, till tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. We'll be right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.